Okay, I need to figure out where. It's just a string, right? Yeah, just do that. Okay, move speed. I do want size to be a thing. Although it's gonna like work differently though. I can't just like change. Like, strength isn't really a thing yet, or health. We just have move speed. Really? None of this other stuff does anything. Change stat. Add status effect. Okay. Update status effect. Or status effect in statuses. Does this get called though? Is what I need to figure out from the plant. It calls collect items. Yeah, I don't have I don't have anywhere that it actually sends the update status effects to the player. Which I know that happens in here. Player dot update actives update status effects. I should go into player and make some of this stuff. I think that makes it private, right? If I do that. So if I go to no, it doesn't. That's for like something else. I'm trying to remember what the does this have you can't say private. It doesn't work. Alright, let me look. Private function. Have an underscore prepended to the function name to mark it as private. Wait, so I was right? But why was I able to call it from outside? I'll just do it. I just realized that it's going kind of like all over the place. Why is that going all over the place? It's a really weird recommended music going on. Not that the music's bad, it's just a. Oh. We got a bunch of. Yeah, sure, whatever. Where was I? Update status effects. Add status effect as private. Change stat. All these are helpers. Function cleanse status effects is something that can be called elsewhere, I believe. It's down. Where does this even get called now? Oh, it's in the inventory. It gets called by the inventory, I believe. Because we have on hotbar consume inventory item, consume hotbar item. Just here. Update status effects. Consume inventory item. Weird order. I mean, this emits update status effects here. Oh, here. I see dot other. So it checks the other field of status effects to see if there's a specific thing going on, and then it calls cleanse status effects. But that's a private. It's private. Only gets called internally. So many helper functions. Change stat, update status message, update active status effect. What is the difference? Oh, this is if there's an active and then it's given the delta. This should be, I should note that this is other status effect functions. This is another helper, isn't it? It is. Tons of helpers. Reorder slightly. Yeah. This does get called elsewhere. Guess I should put it here. Interesting. Okay. So change stat. Add status effect. I guess I can just test it real quick on the here. Master. Okay, so that's going. No effect with ID 0. Where did that even get called from? Is that when I... It happened when the timer ran out. Part of the hotbar then. Hotbar slot. Where is this getting printed from? Green herb? Is it getting printed from the interactable? No, but it's... No, it can't be that. Because it's something in the inventory. No effect? Status effect bar. Remove status was called. Why did I have SI? I mean, I guess I can just see how many times this remove status is called. Nothing happened. Could have done that better, I suppose. Oh yeah. Okay. It got called. Never returned though. Guess I can just look. There's nothing here. So I think what I'm doing is this is status icon scene. which is status icon. So if I go to UI, status effect, status icon, it frees itself. That's the thing. So this is like a redundancy thing. This doesn't, it seems like there's a problem here potentially though. I don't think the status effect should technically remove itself. And should it get its value? Because maybe I just deal with it later. The thing is, like, right now it has it set so that the status effect goes away on its own. But it completely independent from when the actual status effect goes away, which they're lined up to happen at the same time. But because they're not linked to each other, there's no way to actually prove that they're happening at the same time. Because the status effect should go away because the effect is gone, not because the status effect of our timer is done. So what should happen here is it should just do this. It should just do that. It shouldn't free itself. And that should solve my concerns with it for now. I messed it up a little bit. Should be that. Okay. Yeah, so that works. That way it's not redundant and it like, so the status effect can be full, but it won't go away until the actual status effect is removed. So I think that's reasonable. It's definitely less confusing than if the icon went away but the buff is still active, or the whatever the effect is. It's time to add the dropper. Yeah. I need an icon on the UI to show what the currently selected tool is. I think for now, honestly, is I make this 2x2. And then I get rid of 5, get rid of 6, I get rid of 7, I get rid of 4, I get rid of 8. I get rid of all those. And I make current tool icon. So button pressed equals true is gonna cause on slot 1 toggled. But what I'm gonna want to do is for all of these, I need a helper function here for set actually it's not that complicated. It's just one line. One thing. Oh, I do want to make this clickable though as well. I want it so that when you press the current button, it opens that, so there's double functionality. So I'm gonna make this a button as well. Center. It's not going to be part of the button group. And basically what I want is current tool. So I want it so that when this is pressed, because I want this to always be visible. I need these 3 buttons to be not visible to start. Off. So it just looks like this. Toggle. I'm gonna need another helper here. Oh, toggle tool selection. And then what we're gonna want is, so when current tool is pressed, we want to toggle tool selection. I want to be able to call this outside easily, so I'll do that. And what basically I want to do is I want to set slot 1, slot 2, and slot 3 dot visible equals basically just flip it. And I want to do that for slot 2 and slot 3. Ooh. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do this. So you want to do that, and do that, and do that. 2, 3. For now, we just have 3 tools. Let's put this in the top left. Maybe with a little bit of an offset. Hmm. So this isn't set. It's not equal. Oh, this is just a freaking comparison. This is, I'm not setting anything. I'm supposed to do this. Durr. God. There we go. Okay. That does feel good. Although I should make it so that when you select the tool, it should call toggle tool selection. Oh, wait, that's super. All right, that's interesting. So they're all on by default. They're all visible by default because when it calls that, it's gonna make them invisible because it's gonna have selected the tool. All right, all right. Cool. That's pretty fun. I like that. Although I haven't tested if it actually works yet, so I should probably just double check that. Oh, what the heck is this? What did I do here? What did I do? Update status effect or something? Is that what I'm trying to do? No, we're not doing anything yet. Although it should. Should do update status effect. And it should do cut interaction dot on interact status effects. Oh, what's the other field? Message. I don't have a message. Just comment for now. There. So this should be interaction type. Yeah, here we go. Export var on interact message. Status message. String. Do that. Is that gonna screw everything up? If I go here, the red berry bush, it has close. But it has slow interacts. What's the no? Yeah, that makes sense. On interact status message down here. Yeah, there'll be a message for this. It'll be like I can see some issues later, but I know how to fix it, so it shouldn't be a big issue. For now, I can just say interact status message. Will be it's just you feel slow. On I feel slow. It's a weird phrase, but should have caused my character to start moving slower, but I don't think that worked. Oh, because I commented out that. Cut interaction dot on interact status message. Okay. Now we'll try it. Cut the berries. It speeds you up. That means I need to go in here and I need to set the value to -200. No. Hello. Also, what happened here? Oh, it's because there's no icon. The value's -200 though. Or did it not say it? Debug process stopped. It set value. I don't think I set the value. Ooh, that is slow. Well, it works. I need to test the other stuff now, though. So let me grab a bunch of these and grab a bunch of these. So what I need to do is I want to make a speed potion, and then eating the red berries should also remove status effects. So I want to, oh, and I need to make that more visible. Okay, so if I do this, feel slow, and then I can, what? What do I do here? On basic. Alright, what's up? Generate status effect. Oh, this is the first time I've had more than one status effect at the same time. Okay, so that explains why I might be running into issues. Not access property key ID on base object type texture rect. Container. Status effect bar. It is a texture rect. But it has a var effect. Oh, but I didn't. I know why. Get child I dot effect. So if I try it again. Oh, I need to reload it, right? Yeah, I need to recompile. Okay, so I cut it. Makes me feel slow. I do that. SE. Object of type nil? Okay, let me go to remote here. It says SE is null. Container? Here. HBox container. 1. Get child. Why do I have it set up like this? Why don't I just do 4 texture rect in container, and then I do var se equals texture rect dot effect. Oh yeah, dot get children. I don't know what I was thinking there. This needs to go behind. The problem is like this is eating my inputs. Something about this is eating my inputs for the mouse. Which I'm familiar with how that might be happening is I need to go here. Well, it's passing. It says it's passing. I just do ignore. I'll just ignore it. Maybe that'll fix it. So se.id. That's the problem here, huh? It says its effect is null. I mean, that would explain why there's a problem here. So why is it not getting updated? Status icon, var effect, status effect, set effect. Does all this. Because I use the same name. I don't know, maybe that fixes it. So I feel like that's kind of redundant, but well, it works now. Even though blank icon is not ideal. So what I need to do here is I need to go to status effect. And I need to set it to global dot blank texture. There. So now I can grab those without incident. Actually, I can just test by doing this. Perfect. Blank texture. Alright, so now what I need to do, go to the status effect bar. It says it's onto the bottom left, but what I really want to do is I want to offset it by like 0.01. This is 0.99. Just so that it is slightly off from the corner. Nice, okay, cool. Slightly upset. I have an icon, but that's fine. Back to normal. Ooh, alright, cool. More mechanics. So I have an idea. But it involves me drawing. slightly. So if I go to, not that, that's too far back. Find it. Game making. Godot. Resources. KRA. I'm looking for the red berries. Where are they? Where are the red berries? Where did they go? Let's see here. Those are objects. Did I do this in Paint? No, I couldn't have. It's transparent background and I didn't do that. Like, I know how to do transparent backgrounds, maybe sort of now, but in Paint. But where? It says it was imported. Open recent. Oh. Because for some reason I have it in items. So what I want to do is I want to make it a variant of this. Like that, let's say. And we'll just fill. I need to adjust this so it's growing. So now it's blue. Save as. It's gonna be blueberry. Plant blueberry. And then I need to export. Object, no. Actually, it might be in there. Super weird file format. I'm gonna have to change this. Blueberry. Okay, cool. So I got that. Now what I want to do is I'm not, I need to think about this. So, I mean, basically what I want here is I want to make it so you have the red on this side. You got the blue. So what I want to do is that, oh, plus, like, what? I mean, for now I can just do like ground herb. Because that's what I've got. That plus that equals, oh my god. But how am I gonna get this for odd item, like, purposes. So I need a function. All right, let me just get started, I guess. So we have a status effect here. That's not that. That's fine. Okay, so I need a new thing under red berry bush called, it's gonna be an interaction type. It's gonna be red berry bush dropper. And so this is gonna be drop. I'm just gonna call it dropper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't get used. It's not gonna do other effect. There's gonna be another effect. And the status message can be the plant, the berries turned blue or something. And then the other effect is going to be called what would be good? So it's altering the to a different plant, because now I need to make a blueberry bush, and I need a scene for blueberry bush. So I need to go in here and call blueberry bush, and I'm gonna need to do a bunch of this stuff. You don't get anything on interact items. You don't get anything. It's just a different effect. Interesting. Call it mutate, I guess. And so that means if we go into here, I think it's the player. It's going to have cleanse, but there's another effect here that's going to be mutate. And so we're going to be mutate object. Which is going to need this is not, no. Alright, this is where things are not quite lining up anymore, is because so far everything that I've done is that the player interacts with an object and it causes something to happen to the player, and it removes that from it removes items from the object that's being grabbed, and then something happens to the player potentially. So far I haven't had player interacts with object, something else happens to the object, and the player just nothing happens to the player. Actually, what does happen to the player is that the player, do I really want to use a resource? Because I have the dropper. I guess the idea, that's a resource management thing for later, is I don't really need to worry about that. Let's just not remove the resource at all. I don't even have it so that you can combine the dropper with an item. So like this is already complicated to the point that I need to see. Okay, so I need to back up a little bit here to figure out how I can approach that. I need to go to the plant here. No items to get. Which should be getting called when I do this thing here, so. On object grabbed, on object cut. But we don't have on object combined yet. Inconsistent terminology, I'll figure it out later. So far I'm using combine and dropper. I mean, the same thing. Combine object player? This is, okay. Things I need to know from the object. I need to know what the object is. Things I need to know from the player. What the object that it's being combined with is. And it's going to affect... Well, this gets propagated up to here, so this is fine for now. Yeah. Object combined does not exist yet. And then I need to go into here and I need to link it. Doesn't need to collect the item when it's combined. It's a completely separate functionality. If cut interaction dot on interact status effects. No need to call the function if grab interaction. All right. Player dot. So that should be a variable in the player, perhaps. That might be a good start. is we'll get the var dropper item. So we fill the dropper with something. So far, I don't have a list of things you can put in the dropper, but technically you can put anything. You can try to combine anything with anything right now, which is fine. So then we call all interaction areas 0 dot drop. This is weird. I'm just thinking about this. So the player calls a function, I guess because it doesn't know what object it is necessarily, and it doesn't. Is this too broad? No, okay, I think this is fine. Because if there's something that's interactable, it's not necessarily going to be in plant. That's the whole reason behind this, is that this encapsulates anything that is interactable that isn't necessarily a plant. So, like, if if it tries to call that function and the function doesn't exist, it's going to throw an error. I'll worry about it later. I mean, I could, if it's combine object. I don't need self, do I? Yes, I do. Because the player needs to be able to receive some kind of message from the plant as to what happened so that the status message can get sent off. So yes, I do need the player, and then I need the dropper item. Combined player item. And then up here, this needs to be player item. Which then gets sent up the chain. On object combine player item. Which should be linked up now properly, but it's not for some reason. It's combined, I think. Let me disconnect it and then reconnect it. There. It was just being weird. Okay, so the idea here Wait, what happened to the... Huh? Oh, I made it, but I never added it. Here. That's what happened. I need to rename this to combine. Okay. This isn't gonna work the way that I think it will. Maybe it will? Well, here's the problem. Is this whole combiner needs to be a separate... Like, I'm trying to make it too generalized. But this combiner is specific to the object. So I don't think... I need to, like, basically make... Let me just follow this through until I run into the actual problem that feel like I'm running into. So here we have the combine interaction, which object cut, object grabbed, and then down here, what it's gonna do. Yeah, green herb doesn't need to know about what red berry bush combines with. It has no bearing on it. So there needs to be some specific, like, something more specific than just the word combine. What needs to happen here is, like, I need, instead of this just being mutated, I need fields. I need input, the object plus the item, and then the result. I need 3 things. Object, item, result. I don't need this. Like, I could specialize these to be... Like, I should get a combine type combiner or something, and it would inherit, it would extend to interaction type, but it would also have, oh, do I want it to extend it? Combination? Instead of this being it's like combine interaction. This is goofy. This could just be a combinations or something. So it'd say, take this, you combine it with this. It's like a dictionary of combinations or something. I think I can do that, yeah. So, I mean, I'll try it out. I'll try it out. So, script, resource, combination, That would fix a lot of this. This is gonna be... I could just export. No, I can't easily do that. What's the easiest right here? So I know the format I want. I want a list of... I mean, I kind of did it with the herb here. Because like what I have here. No. Yeah, interact items, interact amounts, status effects, stuff like this. It's like these are the different fields I want, and then the index just indicates the set is. So I'm basically doing it like this. Class name. So I want the first thing to be the object name ID, object name, object ID. Do I have IDs for my objects? No, I have names. Object name bar. Array with strings. And then I want item names So the idea here is, okay, so what if I want to combine this object with multiple objects? Then what you do is you just make a different object each time. That's the way that you handle it. Item IDs. That's array of ints. And then result. Oh, but the result could be it's gonna be an object. Object result. Result object. Is an array of scenes. I don't even know. Interactable plants. But no, I want it. But let's say I have it so you can combine, like you can put a drop of some corrosive something concoction onto like a certain surface that happens to be interactable. It's not going to just be plants. It's an array of node 2Ds, I guess. Could be scenes. I'll just put node 2D for now. Node export is only supported in node derived. The current class inherits resource. That's a good point. It's maybe name. I'll just do that for now. I get the result object name. And then I'll deal with it later. So what does that do for me? It should be object combinations, and then I'm going to make this object combinations. Save it, and then that means it's going to be an error in here. Which I need to go and make an object combination. Red berry bush combinations. So then we go here. The first object name is going to be blueberry. Oh no, red. What? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Skip item IDs. I don't need this because it's assumed that the item, the object you're combining it with, yeah, is a current item. So item ID is 100, I believe. Yeah, 100. Doesn't make any actual sense. I'll actually make combinations that make sense later, but it's all about concept. Result object name blueberry bush. Cool. Now, red berry bush has combinations. Okay, so that's a start. On object combined, for ID in combinations dot item IDs. If ID is equal to item ID, then we want to do the combination. Ah, crap. I need to keep track of index, I think. Or I just do combination in combinations item, or combination in combinations. And we'd say, let's just do C.id. And we want to do C dot. What do we want to do? We're going to set the current object. We need like a mutate object function. basically, and it's gonna have to do a lot of stuff. To interactable plant, I guess. But we don't even have type defined. What is it? Node 2D? Just pass for now. Oh, I need to do mutate object. That's what I need to do here. C dot. This doesn't work. I have to do for I in lane. No, wait, no, that doesn't work. I have to do that because combinations, there's just one list of combinations. Would it make more sense if I... Oh, yeah, that's another way to do it, huh? Is you just have one big list of all the possible combinations of items, and then you attach the appropriate combinations to the appropriate objects. But I don't even know how that would scale up. So I'm not gonna worry about that. um oh, it's plural. I'm gonna have to remake it. So I just have the name of the object. That's all I have. It's a string. I don't even have anything set up yet in terms of combining. I don't want to do more drag and drop. I want to move away from drag and drop, kind of. I just have it set up. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I set up drag and drop? What was I thinking? I mean, it is nice for this. And it's like, oh, cool. I can make it so that I can drag an object onto the slot to put something. Because, like, oh god, it actually makes sense too. But not practically for what I'm doing. Because it's like, I mean, it makes sense. I could be like, oh, hey, but what if I put this in my hand and then I can, but it's like, no, that's what the hotbar is for. Um, the only thing that has a unique interaction is this combiner. So what I need is when this is selected, I need like a plus. That's what I need. I need like a plus or some kind of icon to show that you should combine the dropper with an item to fill the dropper with the item. I think that's what I should do. That means I have to make a like separate UI or mode or something. The UI, alright, maybe it is. Everything's kind of starting to work against. Well, it's not even working against each other. I'm just kind of making it work against each other because I don't like the way that this is headed. Yeah, why is this box so big? Oh, because I made it that big. That's right. Of course. What is going on? All right. So, tool wheel here. Slot 1, slot 2, that's slot 3. I need to add a mother button on top of the button. Oh no, but it's on top of the current tool. The button. I just need a plus. New. It's fine. I just need to go in here and I need to just draw a big plus. Actually, wait, text. I don't need an icon. Plus. Boom. Done. And then I need to set the layout to be minimum size of 24 by 24. It's kind of small, maybe 36. 36. And then I can go text. It's small. Is there any way to change the font size? $24. So it's like 24. Yeah. Is that even square? 40 by 40. That's fine. For the purposes of this, I think that's fine. Add item button. Disable the visibility by default. And I do need to propagate the pressed up to the tool wheel. On add item button pressed. I'll just hard set this. And then what I want to do is when 3, the dropper is toggled, we need to toggle the tool selection, and also we want to set the add item button dot visible to true. Might be disabled though. That's something I can worry about down here, I suppose. I can say var selected tool and var that. This doesn't even do anything. Could rename this stuff to actually represent the button, the actual tools. I was thinking about generating them, but I don't think that it's worth having the tool slots change at runtime unless it gets set by in like some settings, but that's way down the road. Var selected tool, and then we need dropper item. Still have no clue how I'm gonna set this, but I think the idea is that I'm gonna emit something, and then it's gonna, let me think about this. So I want, when you press the add item button, it needs to open the item inventory, which is the same thing, but it needs to be in a different mode. So that when you click on something, instead of it dragging it around, it adds it to the dropper, the combiner. So I need to propagate and emit a signal here. Set dropper item. So when this happens, it needs to emit that. Okay, cool. So did that. Now this needs to get linked up to the inventory. On tool wheel set dropper item. That should be add. On tool wheel add dropper item. Or set is fine. I think it's less ambiguous. Okay, so now it knows that it needs to open the particular mode. I'm gonna have to overhaul this, aren't I? Like a lot. Because I don't have mode set up at all. Let me think. I mean, technically the tool wheel could just get a reference to the inventory instead of sending a signal because they're children. But I don't know if it's going to stay that way. They're siblings. Or you can always change it. Alright. So. What do you have currently going on? If input is action, press toggle UI. UI toggle inventory. UI cancel. Which is just escape. Oh yeah, I want to set that in here too. We should just close it though. Whatever state it's in, it should go to closed if you're pressing escape on it. False. Alright. Oops, that must have been loud. We'll get there, we'll get there. Oh. Yeah, I can see where that could be a problem. Shadowed variable. I'm just gonna take a breather for a second. While I think about this. me go back to here. I think I am just gonna have to... Let me just go off the assumption here that I'm gonna have to make a mode. Some modes. Probably... here. Var mode. It's just a string, right? The default. Basically what we want to do is if the dropper item is, then we want to set the mode equals combine. No, mode equals... I could fix it later anyway. Onto will set dropper item. Space, I mean, it's a string, so... what would be a good naming convention for this? Underscores, I think. Even though it's a string. Set dropper would be the mode. I need a function which would be set mode, I think. I need a set mode function. Set mode. Although what it does for the different mode is going to depend on what the mode is. So no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to set the mode here. I want to basically do that, and then I want to do update mode. I think that makes sense. No, okay. I think it makes more sense if I make it set mode. I put this here. Put this. That. String. This makes more sense, I think, because then, well, I can be like if mode equals m, then I can just return and I don't have to do anything. So it bypasses a lot of extra work. mode equals M. And then, well, actually what we want to do before we set that, and we'll eventually get there, but we need to do a case, it's case, right? Match. I think it's in player. Is it in inventory? Yeah, match. That's what it is. We need to do a match. What's this mode? We want to set default. I don't even actually know what I'm gonna do. This one is set dropper. Then what we're gonna want to do is we want to set the left click functionality. How do we change that? Would it make more sense for me to just have a separate? No, I don't think it does. No, yeah, it wouldn't make sense for us to be like a separate instance because then I don't know. But if I want to make a completely separate looking UI, then I would want it to. Why would I want it to be completely separate UI? I guess the idea is that if I have the dropper and then I click add, I want this to be like a simple abbreviated like smaller list compared to the regular inventory. I think I can do that. So what I want to do is I want to make it so that if the mode is dropper select or whatever, then it makes it so that you can't open the regular inventory or something. But what if it's already open? And then we have to close the inventory. Yeah, I can do that. So we'll do where is it? Where's close inventory? Here it is. Onto wheel set dropper item is linked to the inventory. That does complicate things though. I just realized. Oh. Because if I want to make a separate UI, this is catching the signal and handling it in the inventory, which wouldn't, I don't think that would make any sense at that point. I think in order to do what I'm trying to do, I would need to make an instance of, like, a condensed version of the inventory as a child of the radial, the tool selection UI. I haven't really thought it through that much, I guess. What can I do for now, though, that at least gets it to work so that I can worry about that later? Because I feel like there's definitely a way to do this that I don't have to instantiate a whole bunch of things to do dragging. I could... Could just change what the right click does, I guess. So I have toggle inventory, close inventory, but now I need open inventory. Sure, I'll do it. I could just make the line, but I feel like there's gonna be stuff later. I don't know why. That might, I might add on to this so that I can change all instances of flipping the visibility. Then I can go down here. Open inventory. Inventory item clicked. So I can do, if mouse button is right click, then we say if mode equals default. Do that. Match mode. we say that right click is gonna be set dropper. Then what we want instead is, instead of consuming the inventory item, we want it to set dropper item index. I don't think I need the index. Well, because how am I setting the hotbar item? I do that in the hotbar. What am I doing? So I have reference. We have the reference here. Tool wheel ref. Dot dropper item. What? Where is it? Oh, it's because like tool wheel ref is just a, yeah. That's out of the scope in terms of what's going to show up automatically. Set dropper item. Do I want to remove it from the inventory? No, I don't care enough about that. I want this stuff to be easily repeatable for now. I don't want to dwindle my resources and make it tougher to test stuff. Equals item. Okay, so we have a set item. And idea, what I need to do here is not do that. I need to set her. And then what we need to do is I need to set the current add item button. For now, this is a terrible idea. Okay, a better idea for now. That doesn't obliterate the UI. dot text equals item dot ID. I was like, oh, I'll set the texture of the idea is gonna be that I'm gonna want the dropper, like a dropper full icon, basically. That's gonna be preloaded. I guess I can do that right now. Sure, why not? I want it to be dynamic to the thing, whatever is inside of it, but I think for now just having a generic one's probably a good idea. Set that to gray, I guess. Or green. Sure. Save as. Dropper. Full. Here, export. Dropper dash full. Okay, cool. Did it. Easy. So now the idea is if item then what I need to do is, yeah, if the item's not null, then I want to set the, oh yeah, I need to preload, that's right. Oh, that means I'm gonna need to preload both of them so that I can swap between them. I guess that's fine. Dropper icon full, and I need a bar dropper icon empty. Let's do that. Preload. It's okay. Copy path. Dropper. If item, then I want to set the current tool texture icon to be dropper icon full, else current tool dot icon equals dropper icon empty. Okay, cool. I think that works. So when we set the dropper item, then it also sets the icon. I feel like I just did a lot. And then what I want to do on the inventory here, this is what I was talking about, baby. I knew it would come in handy. So on close, at this point, okay, if invisible, close inventory, else open inventory. Cool. Now, when we close the inventory, you want to set the mode to default, which actually that's set mode default. It's a string though. So whenever we close the inventory, we set the mode back to default. Invalid access. Did I not check to see if this was working? Oh, it probably reset. So I was messing around with it, so I have to reset this up. To reconfigure this. Okay, green herb. What we got here? Uninteract grab. Oh, because I was on the dropper tool and I was trying to grab. I was hitting the interact button thinking I was grabbing, but I was on the wrong tool. From from a player perspective, I definitely should not have that be a thing. They should be separate buttons, I think. Grabbing should just be something that you can do while you have another tool equipped, I think. But for now, for testing purposes, I'm just doing this. So yeah, let me grab these up. And then if I... Okay. It works! And then if I close the inventory and I open it normally... Okay. There's no indications that that's how that works. But now if I go to remote and I check to see... Tool wheel. Dropper item. Green herb leaf. Yes! It'd be nice if I had a text under here to say what the item was. I can do that real quick, I think. It'd be really small though. Add text. Uh, label? Yeah, I want a label. And I want it to be aligned. Anchor, bottom left. Bottom center. Center bottom. There we go. Alignment center. Well, that shouldn't happen. Ellipses. Cool. And then I don't have any way to deselect the item that's in there. But what I do want to do... No, I can make it so that if you go to a different tool, then it'll reset that. Item label. So then what I can do here is add a function on dropper deselected. Wait, that's straight up a built-in. Else. Right? Because when I didn't even check to see if this is a thing, but if probably, I guess I can test it right now. If you select something else in a group, a button group, does it send two signals? One that this is deselected and one that that's selected? Probably, right? I don't see why not. Okay, so else we need to oh wait, yeah. We can cheat a little bit. Because we hold on to slot 3 icon. Slot 3 icon is the empty icon. Alright, I'm gonna cheat a little. I'm not. Because I can see a circumstance where you want to fill the dropper, do something on the other tool, and then go back to the tool and have it still be full. So there's actually no reason for it to be empty for any gameplay reason. I mean, there would be the argument that in-game, if it's empty, then you can interact with the environment to fill it instead of just from your inventory. But that is down the road. It's a good idea, though. Because you can be like, oh, there's a berry there. Why don't I just use the, like, syringe or what dropper thing to just extract the juice straight out of the berry without picking it up? That's super, like, do I need that? Is that in the scope? Not for the, not for right now. It is not in the scope. It is a cool idea, though. Is it that? Okay, so I'm going to want to... I don't need to do this. I do need to do that. What am I talking about? This is gonna be a problem, though. This has some assumptions that are not always true. Like, this is unnecessary. I don't need this. Basically, if the dropper is empty, it's not going to be visible. Because the idea would be that something else is going to be the active icon. And we'll just set the selected tool equal to nothing. Oh no, actually, that's it elsewhere. I need the dropper item equal to null. All this stuff is set on the other buttons. The other slots. Oh, and also add item button visible equals false. There. Okay. No. And I want to set a label dot text equal to item dot display name. Yeah, that looks pretty good. For throwing that together, that's not bad. I'll take that. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I made a phone call. Um. Oh crap. One more minute. All right. So I'm gonna have to eat in like an hour anyways, so no reason for me to go grab a bunch of snacks. Okay. So I haven't even tested to see if this combiner thing even works. Let's just see where we're at with that, I suppose. Well, I already know that there's a problem here. If I select the tool and I try to use it, but there is no, yeah, ion lane combination, the IDs. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I first need to do an if, not combinations. Then I need to, return. That way it doesn't fail on that. But I do have something set up here. Yeah, nothing happens. It's not set up properly. However, this should at least... Oh, I think I know what's wrong here. Oh, it's combinations. Interactable. $100. Yeah. It's not even passing. Like, it should be at least length of item IDs. It's not even doing it. It's not doing anything. Objects combined should be getting sent. Oh, because it's not hooked up. Now it'll work, hopefully. Signal wasn't set up. Yeah, that's supposed to be a hint. And then I go over here. We- nice. So I meant to do it on the other window. I'm browsing Discord on main. Okay, my the problem is I moved. All right, I'm not explaining that. The stupid Steven Universe memes. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. All right, okay. So, where was I? Key ID. Item IDs is nil? Saying here, item is null. On object combined. On. So why would this... combine object. It's coming from player. Right? Dropper item. I don't... Oh, yeah, I don't have that set. This is so screwy. So... I need... to check... God, I'm getting all this... references. This reference web is wild. Okay. Dropper item. Which is not in the hotbar. Inventory. It's linked from the inventory. Inventory has a reference to the tool wheel. um I'm gonna bypass this. It's not doing this weird web. We're having problems with... Where were we? Dropper. Here. This is tool wheel. Why is nothing showing up? Tool wheel. Dot. Dropper item. Get that out of there. The only occurrence. Combined. Now what? It's matching ID. Okay, we successfully got the dropper item. Invalid access. Result object name. I. In resource object combinations. Did I screw that up? Should be blueberry bush. Oh, because it's an S here. Because I changed it, but I didn't update all the names. Okay. We are now calling the mutate object function, which I have no clue how I'm gonna do this. So let me think. We do know, I think we have to preload it. And we have to preload the scene. I think that's the way we do this. It needs to be on a... The problem is that this is all so far generic functions for this type. I think what I do... Can I do that? No, that'll get me in trouble. Maybe it won't. Object combinations. Result object scenes. This is the not exactly what I want though. I don't want to just instantiate a new scene for the object. I want to take the current object and modify it, because if I instantiate a new object that disregards things like, let's say I take half the items and then I mutate it and it'll have all the items back, is like one example. So I don't necessarily want to just instantiate the new scene. Is it like scene? I do this here somewhere though, don't I? Packed scene. So then if I go here, I think what I would want to do then is for now, I guess I could instantiate the new object and then set the parameters of everything. Which I think there was some way to do that. I forget. There was like a quick way to do that that I completely ah. Let me just make this scene first. Duplicate. I should duplicate it from Redberry Bush. I don't care what the interactions are. I don't have anything built for that. So it doesn't matter. I just need to make sure that I'm able to change it. So there, blueberry bush. Results object scenes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so right now we have the new object name. No. We'll just pass for now. Where did I set this up? In the inventory somewhere? Something I did down here where I instantiated a... Oh, duplicate, right? Yeah. It was here, item.duplicate. I don't want to do that though. Okay, yeah, I'm remembering now, and it's not that relevant. So what I want to do here... How do I... Oh, there's the same type. It would make way more sense if I... say like self equals new object scene dot instantiate. Only identifier, attribute access, or subscription access can be used as assignment target. Yeah. Because this isn't so much a mutation as it is to completely change it entirely. Var I want to set all this stuff. 6 variables is not too bad. Item quantities. That one is a little trickier. I'm gonna want to do... Sure, you know what? For now, just overwrite it. Doesn't matter. And then later on, if I'm like, oh, well, this is almost empty, and then if someone wants to min-max, that's fine. Not a big deal for now. I'm speaking like this is some kind of, like, grindy game. It's supposed to be grindy. Anyway. It's just 7 things. You just go down here and then... Really what I want to do. Oop. Probably could have just done self dot and it would have been a little faster, but not that much of a difference. Oops, wrong button. We also need to set the sprite. Get child. Sprite 2D. Dot texture. Oh, that's the name. Yeah, OBJ. Find. Does it return an int? It returns a node. Okay. I mean, at this point, I might as well just replace it. But because the problem is, if I change the texture but not the position, then it's gonna look weird. Potentially. Well, maybe not if the... Oh, yeah. Why is it off the ground? Sonic R. Alright. This is gonna be weird. I just need to see if it works. That's all that matters right now. That is the most important thing. What happened? Non-existent resource. Objects interactable, blueberry bush. Blueberry bush.tscn. Parse error. Combinations. Oh, it is non-existent. Correct. Wait, what? I don't need that. So much for private variable. Private function, I mean. Oh yeah, that's what I'm missing. Um... There he is, turned blue. For whatever reason. Just for visual clarity. Where was I just at? Here. Invalid access. What? Why would it? What? Combinations? Base object type mail. Oh. I can see why that might be the case. It's because I just changed the value. But for some reason the texture didn't update. I don't know. Oh, it's because the sprite is the same sprite. I didn't update the sprite. That's why. I meant to go back, not do that. There. Save. Blue. Breakpoint. Oh my god! The berries turned blue! Like I even said the thing. But it still says red berry bush as the interaction. More stuff I have to change. The interact label. Oh, I have to change so much. I'll just do this for now. There's definitely something else I can do here. But now, let's just... Do I need to instantiate this even? I think I do. Because I don't think I can get the chat of a pack scene. I can test it in a minute, but let me just make sure it works. I'm assuming it won't work, because if it's packed, it means... I don't actually 100% know what it means, but I think I know what it means. Var... What was that? Which I didn't change any of this stuff. This has to go to blueberry bush. This has to go to blue. Blueberry bush, yeah. Oh, I forgot to remove the breakpoint. It's gonna do the thing. The berries turn blue, and now it's a blueberry bush. Berries turn blue, the berries turn blue. Okay, cool. It does nothing there. That's cool. In order for this to have any use, what do I do? I think it's time that I actually make some puzzles with the things that I have. Yeah, it doesn't have that kind of stuff. This is non-existent resource. I didn't change this stuff. A bush with blueberries. No interactions. Because those are not set up. Oh. Then what needs to happen here is that I need to emit another signal. Something. Update interactions. Well, then what needs to happen is I need to call interaction area exited and interaction area entered. Do I have that even hooked up? Some player. Oh, because it is under the player. Yep. Start here. Then how do I trigger this? I guess I could. Disable and enable it or something? If I just flip the interactions like this. It should send the signals, right? But it's, I don't think that would work necessarily. Because I'm like flipping it off and on really quick in one frame. Is that even gonna, like, that seems like a bad idea. Yeah, it didn't work. I don't know how to trick the player. I don't know how to get the player to send the signals. Do I have a reference? I could just emit a signal. That's currently my, like, I don't know how these link. Let me just send a signal. Signal. Mutated. And basically what I want to do when that happens... Oh, I do have the player. I don't need to send a signal. I don't need to send a signal. Player dot on. Oh, but I don't have a link. I do. I think I do. On interaction area exited. And then on interaction area entered. This is a weird way to do it, but I shouldn't really do it that way, I would imagine, but it's fine. If it works, it's fine. What was that private, quote unquote, private variable that I want to get rid of the underscore? Update status message. Ooh. Replace all, no one do. I'm just gonna get rid of the underscores manually. Maybe this works. If I say that it exited and entered the area, then it should properly. Yeah, it works. Okay. So this is where I'm done implementing mechanics for the day because I need to get ready for a Baldur's Gate session happening in a bit. It's time for me to think for a minute about how I'm gonna actually use these features. What do I want to do with this stuff? I have interactable plants. You can pick them up, you can slash them, you can combine them with items in the inventory. I have a pressure plate and sliding door thing. A little puzzle. Sliding door puzzle. Where you have to grab that, do that. Because like, do that. Make some speed potions. Because the door closes too fast. But then if you use the speed potion, you can get through the door. Okay. Do I just start putting some puzzles together with the stuff that I have? I'm doing that thing again. I do in like games I play, where I set everything up. I have a bunch of like prepared to utilize a lot of things, and then I like don't actually use them. So even though I literally set myself up to use them. What do I have here? What is in my phase 1 goals? Movement. Puzzles and terrain to be based off of the interaction. Interaction. Proximity based interactions. Yep. Inventory. Item investigation. Interacting with gatherables with a different material before gathering. Done. Grabbing with hand or a tool. Done. I could implement more tools, but I just need an idea of what I'm actually gonna do before I get too concerned about that. Affect the material on hand / tool when gathered. I have that when you cut the red berries, it slows you down. It's just a test that works. What happens when materials are gathered? What happens to the material when they're gathered? Right, so like if you like some objects that let's say you try to gather them with, and like you take some berries off the bush or whatever, and then it like maybe there's objects that you do that and then the object changes. I'm trying to think. Like maybe it like grows back blueberries. It seems like really situational, depending on the specific puzzle or like item that I want to do. So I'm not too concerned with that right now. Weapons to the environment when it's gathered. I also, yeah, stuff like, I guess an example would be like you you have an environmental puzzle where you have the 4 red berries and you need to turn them into like blue, like 2 red berries, 2 blueberries in a certain configuration, and then it causes like some kind of puzzle like completion, like a gate to open or something like that if you have the right configuration. It's like a classic Zelda puzzle kind of thing. Turn all the torches on, then it gives you a chest kind of thing. What happens in the environment? I guess I could get to that when I have a puzzle like that as well. What happens to nearby materials when gathered? That seems like something I don't need to worry about right now. That's a little complicated. Of like, oh, well, what if you pick up some kind of toxic ingredient, but let's say if there's some other ingredient in your inventory it gets changed just by being in proximity to this other ingredient. That is... I don't know how to incorporate that as a puzzle mechanic yet, so probably not. I'm gonna worry about that. I guess this would only really be a problem if I have, like, a ton of different stuff. So yeah, this is, like, phase 2, maybe. Of, like... There are enough ingredients and combinations that there are some combinations that I either would not want to have together, or some combinations of things that create another layer of, like, complexity to the puzzles, but that is definitely not... I'll add it down. I mean, I'll keep it as a bullet point, but I don't need that right now. Limited items based on the area, or bring items around the entire map. Yeah, so that's something... I mean, I could just have, levels. I could just have, like, stages or something where you just basically have to reset the room if you run out of materials. Although, I don't know if I like that idea. I like the idea of having a cohesive map that you can backtrack to find secret puzzles and stuff like that. I do want that, but... Yeah, the mobile crafting structure has the... You can grind stuff and you can brew stuff. Quick craft time, it is pretty quick. I wanted to consider QTEs. QTE crafting. Like press some like inputs to make it more interactive. Creatures. I do want creatures. Player stats, environment can change stats, alchemy can change stats. I kind of have that. Player logbook, alchemist book. I think these are the two things that I kind of want to focus on next. I want to make it... It's not necessary for... I feel like it would be nice to have a level first that makes it valuable to have. Yeah. I need an environment so that adding these features makes sense. So that it's easier for me to think about it. Exactly how I want to implement it. Okay. So... If I think about it, let me think about it. I mean, I could use the sliding door puzzle as my just puzzle area. Is it time for me to start thinking of the art? I don't think so. All right. I think I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit. Definitely at a point where I need to get more details on some more macro of the game flow. And really hone in. Because mechanically, I have most of the stuff that I'm talking about. So, yeah, I'll have to think about it. But I gotta make some food before this Baldur's Gate session, so I'm gonna call it here. Hope that it was at least somewhat entertaining. And I was gonna I'm thinking about like starting to upload some of these to YouTube just so that I have the records of them. That would probably be a good idea. Yeah. I'll see about it. It shouldn't be that hard. I just keep forgetting. And it's not like automatically set up or anything. Should be good though. I'll give it a shot. All right. Might be on tomorrow morning. I'll see. I will keep chipping away at it. I do have the deadline. I'm approaching the halfway point ish. So actually, I'm not even halfway. I'm only like I'm a little over 4 weeks at this point, I think. How long? How many days has it been? I know the exact day that it was. Wednesday, April 16th. Yeah. Yeah, it's been like almost 5 weeks. Coming up on the halfway point. And I have no user experience like in mind at all. It's a garbled mess. That's fine. Okay. Cool. That's good to know.